Nikon Z8. Think of the Nikon Z8 as the Z9's gym-going younger sibling who spent all their allowance on performance upgrades and snacks. This beast is packed with jaw-dropping autofocus, gorgeous color, and is basically a D850 with a tech-savvy glow-up. It is nimble, shoots everything from twitchy birds to moody portraits without breaking a sweat, but make sure your wallet and shoulder are ready because it is still a hefty chunk of metal and not exactly a budget buy. Annoyingly, some early models had wobbly strap eyelets. So unless you like your camera in several pieces, check the serial number before you start swing dancing with it. 9 out of 10. Nikon Z9. The Nikon Z9 is the photographic equivalent of a Swiss Army knife stuffed inside a titanium tank. It churns out stunning images at breakneck speed, handles like a dream, and practically dares you to find a scenario it cannot master. The autofocus chases subjects with Terminator rage. The battery lasts longer than some relationships, and the files are as satisfying as peeling perfect stickers. Though lugging its brick-like body will give you accidental biceps, price tag got more zeros than your ex's phone number, but quality this sharp does not come cheap. Get ready to empty your piggy bank and maybe your back too. 10 out of 10. Nikon Z7 II. The Nikon Z7 II is like that reliable friend who brings snacks to the party and never complains, quietly dishing out 3600 pixel-wide masterpieces with old-school Nikon color and high-res detail, all while keeping noise in check, even at laughably high ISO settings. Sure, it's a little slower to focus on action than its newer siblings, and nobody's swooning over its single-digit burst rate, but for landscape, portraits, or showing off your cats in ridiculous clarity, it is a loyal companion that never lets you down. Newer cameras may have left it at the disco, but if you are after high-res stills without the Z9's muscle mass, this is a sensible, wallet-friendlier pick. 7 out of 10. Nikon Z6 III. The Nikon Z6 III is the camera equivalent of a triple-shot espresso. Blazing fast autofocus, a crispy viewfinder that feels like a VIP screening, and a burst mode so quick you could capture your dog chasing its own tail from every angle. Its video specs are beefed up like a gym rat who discovered protein shakes, though the price tag and lack of a charger will have you double-checking your wallet and charging patience. If you want speed, versatility, and an all-rounder with swagger, this is the one. Just don't expect a massive jump in image quality over its older siblings. 8 out of 10. Nikon Z6 II. The Nikon Z6 II is your dependable sidekick. It feels just right in the hand, autofocus works like a charm even in dodgy light, and at 24.5 megapixels, it balances sharpness without gobbling up your storage like a hungry bear. Buttons and dials are friendly enough that even "I've never used Nikon" feels right at home. And whether you're snapping lines or landscapes, it's got your back. Though it's less rockstar than the latest Z6 III for speed freaks. Solid, reliable, and cost-friendly, it gets the job done without flashy drama, but it won't win the sprint race against newer contenders. 7 out of 10. Nikon D850. The Nikon D850 is the old-school heavyweight champ, rocking a whopping 45 megapixels and a viewfinder so roomy you'll feel like you rented a penthouse just to shoot sunsets. It slays with insane detail, incredible dynamic range, and will keep up with wildlife stampedes. But let's be real. This beast is hefty, and lugging it around might count as your workout for the day. Still, for studio perfectionists or landscape fans who want every pixel, it's a legend. But in a world moving mirrorless, it slips a little in relevance. 6 out of 10. Nikon Zf. This retro-styled beauty is like if your dad's old film camera hit the gym and learned some serious autofocus kung fu. The 24-megapixel full-frame sensor keeps things crisp. Whether you are chasing street cats or low-light drama queens, flip out that screen and shoot yourself feeling fancy. But don't get too cocky because the grip is so shallow you might drop it faster than Nikon launches a new model. Still, with snappy performance, gorgeous video, and enough features to make a robot jealous, it feels like Nikon is showing off, so I am handing it a solid 9 out of 10. Nikon Z7. Say hello to the megapixel monster that proves you do not need to hit the gym to flex. 45 million pixels will crop, zoom, and pixel peep your heart out, while keeping things lovely and detailed well past ISO 6400 with excellent dynamic range. The autofocus handles everything short of Olympic hurdles. The build is classic Nikon chunk, and it is so light you could almost balance it on a latte. But if you shoot wild raccoons at midnight, it might just give up and take a nap. For sheer image quality and steady 5-axis stabilization, this is a pixel-perfect workhorse. 8 out of 10. Nikon Z6. The Z6 is the jack-of-all-trades who actually delivers, serving up punchy colors, awesome dynamic range, and a 24.5 megapixel sensor in a compact body that will not break your back or your piggy bank. Its autofocus is chill enough for most subjects, but not quite caffeinated enough for sports. And the battery life is like that one friend who hangs out way longer than you expect. which is great until you forget where you put your charger. For a lightweight, reliable, and downright fun camera, the Z6 still feels like a steal in 2025. So I am giving it a confident 8 out of 10. Nikon D6. This beast is built like a tank and spits out razor-sharp action shots faster than you can say goal, with autofocus that locks on tighter than your grandma's hugs. But for all its pro-level flex, it weighs as much as a small dog and the video features feel like an afterthought, which might leave your inner YouTuber crying in the corner. Still, if you live for gritty sports or wildlife chaos and think lightweight is for quitters, this indestructible juggernaut is calling you. Just bring your chiropractor. 8 out of 10. Nikon Z5 II. The Z5 II is the overachiever at the family reunion, packing advanced autofocus, improved burst speed, and a price that will not haunt your dreams, all in a slick, full-frame body. Sure, the sensor is not the most party-ready in low light, but it hustles hard and keeps up with way pricier cousins, making it a no-brainer for anyone craving mirrorless magic without selling their car. If you are not chasing extreme pixel counts or braving pitch-black caves, this cheerful all-rounder is the sweet spot for most photographers. 9 out of 10. Nikon D500. The D500 is like your athletic friend who survives boot camp and still wants to go hiking, delivering top-shelf autofocus, gorgeous crop sensor images, and a swagger that almost outshines some full-frame snobs. It is rugged without being absurdly heavy and just laughs off fast action, though it is a bit behind on high ISO, so do not expect miracles in moonlit basements. Bottom line, if you want pro performance without hauling a full-frame cinder block, the D500 is as close to crop sensor greatness as you will ever get. 8 out of 10. Nikon D800E. The D800E is your pixel-peeping champion, cramming 36 megapixels into a full-frame sensor for images so sharp, you might accidentally cut yourself just looking at them. Yet, with all that detail comes the fun surprise of moire on tricky textures, so unless you live for landscape or studio shots, you might find your fashion photos look like a bad Magic Eye poster. Pros will adore its crispy quality, but casual shooters better bring a hard drive the size of a small asteroid for those massive files. 6 out of 10. Nikon D5. Strap in, because the Nikon D5 shoots action faster than an espresso-fueled cheetah and tracks focus like the camera's possessed by a sports photographer's ghost. While you will have to settle for just 20.8 megapixels, this beast devours darkness, nails focus in ridiculous conditions, and lets you rattle off shots like you are dodging laser beams. But it comes with a wallet-exploding price tag and weighs about the same as a small child. Not for the faint of biceps, but utterly brilliant for capturing chaos. 8 out of 10. Nikon D80. Meet the D780, the Goldilocks of Nikon's lineup, blending mirrorless tech with classic DSLR charm for the indecisive among us. It delivers superb all-day battery life, sharp 24.5 megapixel images, and autofocus so good you will wonder if it reads your mind. But it is not the flashiest, and you still will not find in-body image stabilization, so shaky hands beware. If you want all-around muscle and reliability with a shot of modern flavor, this is the camera that actually makes you want to leave the house. 9 out of 10. Nikon D3S. This beast eats darkness for breakfast, snapping super clean shots even when your eyeballs are begging for a flashlight. Autofocus is faster than a caffeinated squirrel, and the rugged body could probably survive a tumble down Everest, but the shutter's so loud it might announce you at a silent auction. If you need majestic megapixels or whisper quiet snaps, look elsewhere. For serious action and sports, it's a heavy hitter. 6 out of 10. Nikon D810. The D810 is like the overachieving younger sibling who quietly steals the show. Sharp, fast, and so refined it makes the older D800 look like it still listens to dial-up tones. It handles crazy high resolution without flinching, juggles ISO like a pro, and can shoot all day with a battery that clearly skipped leg day because it never wears out. However, at 5 frames per second, rapid-fire fans might want to bring a chair, but for nearly everything else, it's smooth magic. 9 out of 10. Nikon D800. Meet the D800, the megapixel monster that chews up details and spits out prints sharp enough to shave with. The build is solid, the dynamic range makes even the moodiest clouds look dramatic, and if you are a cropping addict, get ready to zoom all day. Just watch out for a little lag and some high ISO noise that can sneak up faster than a ninja. This one's for tripod lovers and landscape dreamers, but if blazing speed is your jam, you might be left tapping your foot. 7 out of 10. Nikon D7500. This camera shows up to the photo shoot like it woke up extra early, boasting zippy autofocus and blazing bursts faster than your cousin chasing the ice cream truck. The images pop with punchy colors, and it handles low-light scenes better than your cat when you finally find the treat stash. But you might miss having a second memory card slot if you are the forgetful type. It is rugged and reliable, but the live view autofocus is about as slow as a holiday dinner with your in-laws, so be ready for a little patience now and then. 8 out of 10. Nikon D7 II. This is the no-nonsense camera that just keeps snapping, with sharp 24-megapixel shots and autofocus that grabs onto your subject like a toddler clinging to a cookie. The dual memory card slots mean this thing packs more storage than your grandma's attic, and battery life lets you shoot for ages without desperately searching for an outlet. Learning the controls might feel like learning a new dance, but once you find your groove, you will wonder how you ever used anything else. 7 out of 10. Nikon D4. This big pro beast is designed for photographers who giggle at the thought of 11 photos per second and can heft its considerable bulk like a gym, regular curling dumbbells. You get tank-like build quality, focus faster than a squirrel spotting a dropped peanut, and image quality that makes your Instagram followers jealous, but your wallet might file a grievance. Let's be honest though, unless you are shooting the Olympics or the running of the bulls, it is likely overkill for birthday parties, unless grandma sprints. 5 out of 10. Nikon D600. This full-frame beauty delivers stunning image quality that rivals cameras costing 3 times more, while being surprisingly light for professional work. The autofocus nails exposure and white balance almost every time, making it foolproof for amateur photographers who want professional results without the headache. At 24 megapixels with incredible dynamic range, it is basically the Goldilocks of cameras. Not too much resolution to choke your computer, not too little to crop your masterpieces. 7 out of 10. Nikon D700. This 24-megapixel crop sensor monster ditched the optical low-pass filter, which means your photos are sharp enough to cut glass, but also prone to more aliasing patterns. The 51-point autofocus system borrowed from the flagship D4 works like magic, though the tiny buffer will leave you waiting awkwardly after burst shooting, like you are buffering a video on dial-up internet. Image quality is absolutely outstanding for an APS-C sensor, with virtually no noise up to ISO 3200, making it perfect for enthusiasts ready to step up their game. 8 out of 10. Nikon D3. This 12-megapixel full-frame tank weighs more than a small child, but shoots at 9 frames per second with autofocus that could lock onto a ninja in complete darkness. The high ISO performance reaches an insane 100x400 equivalent, turning night into day, though your wallet will feel significantly lighter after the $5,000 purchase. Built like it could survive a nuclear apocalypse with weather sealing that laughs at harsh conditions, but the shutter is so loud it could wake the dead at a quiet wedding. 9 out of 10. Nikon D800. The Nikon D5600 is so light it could breeze away, yet somehow delivers colors punchier than your favorite juice box, even when you are fumbling through the menu like a raccoon in a campsite. Touchscreen controls and a comfy grip make it beginner-friendly, and its 24.2 megapixels mean your cat's every whisker will look majestic. But trying to use SnapBridge feels like training a squirrel to do your taxes. Fun to use, cool for travel, just do not expect miracles from the kit lens or video specs stuck in 2016. 7 out of 10. Nikon D610. The Nikon D610 is like your granddad's pickup, a solid full-frame beast that handles well and takes vibrant, detailed photos but weighs enough to double as gym equipment if you need to bulk up. Its retro charm shines through the classic optical viewfinder and sensible controls, but the rear screen is stubbornly glued in place, and movie mode feels like an afterthought from the dial-up era. Gloriously sharp stills and reliable performance, but you will need strong arms and zero ambition for serious video work. 6 out of 10. Nikon D750. The Nikon D750 jumps into the full-frame ring like an eager heavyweight. Autofocus grabs focus with superhero speed, and colors pop even in tricky light. But the camera looks old enough to be asking mirrorless cameras for the Wi-Fi password. If you are willing to bounce through a menu marathon and can live with video resolution that stops at 1280 by 720, you get beefy image quality and enough dials to keep your fingers entertained for hours. For the right price, this is a pro-level stills camera that refuses to retire, even if its technology already has. 8 out of 10. Nikon Z5. Think of the Nikon Z5 as the entry ticket to full-frame magic that will not require you to sell your kidney, delivering crisp 24.3 megapixel images and a weather-sealed body ready for a drizzle or a donut shop disaster. The burst speed is more of a slow clap at 4.5 frames per second, and the buffer gives up before you finish your coffee. But for casual shooters and dedicated upgraders, it nails the basics with style. Reliable dual card slots, delicious compatibility with a smorgasbord of affordable lenses, and easy handling make this camera proof that grown-up photography does not have to feel like homework. 7 out of 10.